Welcome back to another episode of Last Man In Podcast. We thank you all for listening last week as we had our inaugural episode about the NHL Draft. We're back with myself, Greg, Cam, and Daniel, and we're going to talk more about the NHL free agency and what Winnipeg has done and what other teams have done, or lack thereof. So let's just kick it right off with the Jets signing the big one,
Matthew.
Chris Thorburn.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Cam didn't even write it down on his notes. Wow.
What was it? 2 year? 1 year?
They signed him to a 3-year deal. 3 years, $1.2 million a year.
So, and we talked on the podcast last week about Tanner Glass and what we wanted him for. Like, we wanted to sign him. Dan said he wanted him on the team, and he's played here before. He signed for, I believe, was it 2 years?
It's on there.
Well, how long did Tanner Glass sign for?
Let's find out.
Let's find out right now. Because it's a very similar contract to Chris Thorburn, and that is exactly why, in my mind, that we didn't go after Tanner Glass, because we signed Thorburn to the exact same contract, essentially.
Also, to butt in that, there was an article about Day Off in the Free Press the day after, and it was talking about Thorburn signing, and they said that apparently Paul Maurice, at the end of last year, said there's two guys that he wanted on the team, for sure, and that was Mark Stewart and Chris Thorburn.
Okay.
So I think Maurice likes him as like a leader, veteran kind of guy.
Okay.
And apparently there were tons of teams going after Thorburn.
Oh, well then. Okay, well we locked him up.
More on Thorburn. I originally did not like the deal, but a friend of mine pointed out, he said, well, I like the signing because first off, he's buddies with Kane, so that might keep Kane happy and like at least give him a reason to stay here if, well, I don't know what's going on. There's always questions about Kane. But what I was complaining because I was like, well, what about the prospects? Like, why don't we bring them up? And he said, well, why would you bring up a prospect to play NHL fourth line minutes, 3 to 5 minutes a game, when they could be in the AHL playing roughly the same competition that fourth line NHL guys play on top line AHL and get top line minutes, 13 to 16 minutes a game? That's where you're gonna learn, and they'll play in all situations there. When they're up here, you can't learn that much in practice, if anything. We haven't seen we've seen a glimpse of a Paul Maurice, like, training camp practice, but when that got pointed out to me, I was like, well, you know what, I don't mind the signing. And he was a great number.
Every team needs a heart and soul player.
Yeah, and that's Thorburn, Peluso, and Slater.
But there's one guy, like, above all, like, do you have your guys, but there's one guy that will do whatever he had. Like, I mean, last year, first shift of the game, he willingly fought Chara.
Yeah,
and if I remember, he got the takedown.
And he also toe dragged Ryan Miller, which
that was unbelievable. He has a nickname.
Wait, let's check. Let's check the number. 22. What? Thorburn? What?
Come on!
No!
Come on!
No!
Please!
But
that nose! He looks like Lois Griffin with that nose.
Oh, that's nice. Go after the nose. Sir.
He's Italian. It happens.
It happens. Just eats pasta all the time.
Curls.
But if at some point in the next 3 years the Jets make the playoffs, you'll see how important he is in the playoffs.
Yeah, he could be that guy.
Because that's when those guys are... That's when you need those guys.
Of course.
Another depth signing was Adam Party.
1 year, $700K.
Which is great.
I like it.
Why not?
And
you know what? He played fine last year.
Guys, because there ain't no party like an Adam Party.
There you go.
What? Jets also signed from Anaheim. Oh, sorry, Dan was going to say.
Oh, I just figured I was going to read it because I...
Oh, yeah, no, go. He's got it.
The big one, Matthew Perreault, 3 years, $9 million.
Nicknamed the Sneeze.
So, $3 million a year. Yeah, the nickname, where did you see this nickname?
Someone posted on Twitter, because apparently they say Matt Chew, not Matthew. He's French. And the Chew, someone calls him Sneeze. Sneezy or Sneezer?
Sneezy.
So
you know what sneezy it is from this point forward.
On this podcast, at least.
Sneezy. Oh, jeez.
He's going to score his first goal with the Jets, and we're going to be like, Sneezy scored.
Sneezy.
To compare last year, because he'll be taking Jokinen's spot.
Yep.
Or
they both had 18 goals and 25 assists last year, him and Jokinen.
And there's a 9-year difference between
He did it in 69 games, Jokinen did it in 82 games.
Now,
So Perreault a bit better point per game percentage, and Perreault's 26, Jokinen's 35.
Well, look at who he was playing with, though. Like, I'm not saying he had tons of minutes, but he was playing it with Teemu Selanne, which, as Jets fans,
but apparently
how amazing he is.
The interview with him in the paper when he said he talked to Maurice, he said he's going to be playing with Kane.
Oh well,
Perreault.
we talked about it on this podcast.
He said Kane was the one player that he said he might have a chance to play with, so maybe that's the Jets' plan right now.
Well, you could always move Scheifele on the right side, but like I said, we talked about it on the podcast last week about how we wanted to have 3 1-2 punches essentially,
Yeah.
and maybe Mathieu Perreault adds that to another punch with him, Kane, little lad, Scheifele, and Buff,
Wheeler.
or Scheifele Wheeler. There you go.
Because, well, look at that magic that they created in, like, the 2-week stretch where Jets won games. You know how that works? Where they were in, they won, like, in the same week. It was, like, Scheifele to Wheeler, Wheeler to Scheifele, OT both times. Or
Yeah.
maybe it wasn't the same week, the same month. But that was awesome.
Yeah.
I remember that because I was like, oh, yeah,
They
Scheifele.
played well together. They played well together.
Yeah. Oh, they're great.
And why
And
not?
Scheifele can keep up to Wheeler, so, I mean, that's a plus.
Oh,
Yeah, Lad's always lugging.
Lad and Buffalo, and those guys are a little behind.
you said the deal is 3.5, right?
No, three.
3
Three
years,
mil.
9 mils, so,
So-
3 a year.
Cheaper than Ole, probably more effective than Ole, and younger than Ole. So
And
this
Chevel-
all around is probably a better deal for
It's
us.
an upgrade, yeah.
And Cheveldayoff said they think he can still get better. Because
Well.
apparently last year was his breakout career high year.
Oh, well, good for him.
So they think he can still get better.
And a nice little story about Mathieu Perreault. The first time I ever saw him play was in the Calder Cup finals against the Manitoba Moose. Winnipeg fans would know who those are, or when that was. And that was also the day that I met Cam, and that's also the day that Mathieu Perreault held the Calder Cup over his head.
That was.
So a few bitter feelings, but hey, wouldn't it be nice if he held a Stanley Cup over his head in Winnipeg
Oh,
wearing a Jets
geez.
jersey?
Yeah, and look at
There
all
you go.
look at we fixed our backup goaltending problem,
Hey.
right? With Michael Hutchinson.
I-
You know what? I don't mind the deal. What's the deal? What is it?
The deal was
2.3?
2 years, $2.3 million.
Yep.
But first year is a 2-way contract.
Because we traded Pasquale, makes
Pasquale.
sense. Okay.
Yeah,
Second year is a 1-way contract. So does that mean
he's
They're-
the backup next year.
no? Does that mean they're going to go get a veteran for a year, let him back up Pavlik this year, and then Hutchinson is up next year as the backup? Because he
Maybe.
Who's
he has a
left?
1-way contract next year. He's going to be on the team.
Yeah.
Oh.
One name that was thrown around yesterday was J.S. Shiger.
Jiggy.
Ooh, he would be good.
Just for a year.
It's all about cost. Like, if you
Well,
can
it'd
get a
be
backup
cheap.
for
Well,
like a
we're
year,
not
year
gonna
and a half.
pay him like big bucks like
No,
in that
we're
term.
not.
So,
I wouldn't mind Jiggy.
did the Jets make any other acquisitions?
They
I don't think
no,
so, did
that
they?
was it.
Who did
That was
we?
it.
Now we look at who we were going after, guys. We knew that.
Yeah.
And as Dan we asked us last podcast, do you think we'll get Stastny? We were only told the night before free agency that Winnipeg's officially out, so we
Yeah.
were in like the top 5.
Yeah.
At
We
least
had
we
to.
were.
Yep.
So we lost out on Stastny, kind of no surprise, but it was nice to know we were in there. One day we'll maybe get one of them. Who else were we
But
going after?
okay. Here's the thing. Well, we're going after Nikolai Kulemin.
They just missed out on him according to Pierre LeBrun.
Where would he have played? Third line?
Third-
Fourth?
Third
No,
line.
Oh,
third
third,
line.
right, because fourth is Slater.
The
Right.
Jets want.
But
Apparently, the Jets want 3 lines that can score this year. There's no 1, 2, 3. They want 3 lines they can roll.
But like the great thing
Nice.
about Nikolai Kulemin, I watched him. I watched him in his career year where he scored 30 goals. Where Jets could use a guy that could score 30 goals.
Yep.
Is I thought a great line before we acquired Perreault. When I was thinking about it after last podcast, is Scheifele, Kane, Kulemin, because Scheifele could play kind of a dump and chase game. Kulemin would be the first one in. He'd
He's
hit
that
guys.
He'll get in the corner and get you
Yeah,
that puck.
exactly. And
He
then
played
he'd be
lots of penalty kill minutes, you
Oh.
know, for the Leafs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a versatile player, and I'm actually okay with the money that he signed for. I believe it's 4.5.
Whoa.
Is that what he got?
What?
I believe
Well,
so.
say
I
yeah.
could be wrong.
Take a peek.
Take a quick
Islanders.
look at it. I thought it was 4.5 million. I could be wrong, but when you think about it, he has scored 30 goals in the past, and we're paying Kane over 5, and he's only scored 30 goals once.
Once, but he was 20 when he did it. That's.
I understand,
I get where you're coming from, though, too.
but I would be okay with
4 years, 16.75. So,
Oh, yeah.
so yeah,
so
just
four-
over 4 a
just
year,
over 4. That's
which in my
for
mind is
him.
great
That's
for
not
him
bad.
because he has experience. He's been in the league
He
for a
can
while.
play in
Oh.
all facets of the
Yeah.
game. Essentially, probably not power play too much, but we have that covered already.
Yeah.
So
And I think the big deal with Kuhlman and the reason why the Jets didn't get him was because one of his line mates in his best year with the Leafs was Mikhail Grabowski, and that he went to the Islanders, and I think that was the icing on the cake for him to go there
That is true.
because he wants to play with Grabo.
Of course.
And,
For sure.
Why wouldn't you? Because Grabo's also a versatile center, despite the fact people don't think he is. He was really good for the
And as far as I know, the Jets' offer was not as much as the
it was probably
Islanders.
3.75, 3.5, but whatever. We never want to overpay for a free agent, which is great when you think about it.
It's never going to do... Not signing someone and holding back will always do less damage than overpaying a guy and then having it not work out.
Ilya Brizgalov.
David Clarkson.
David Clarkson. There you go.
Well, Brizgalov's a...
David Clarkson.
He got paid...
David Clarkson.
I'm pretty sure he was making $1 million
Well, Jeff
a point
Finger,
at some point last year.
Tim Connolly. All terrible signings by the Leafs.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's the Leafs.
and if you look at Atlanta's history, even Ron Hainsey was a signing. What was he, 4.5?
Antro
He was a good player,
Antro
but
was
what
a
they
bad
paid him...
Way too much.
Way too much.
But it's all about market, and the thing is I could see the Jets overpaying for a player in the future when they need a guy to win now kind of thing. If they're in that situation. Right now, they're not. They're still building towards becoming a St. Louis Blues, a not a Chicago Blackhawk or LA Kings, because I don't see Winnipeg in that dynasty yet. Maybe in the future, but not yet.
Be nice to see playoffs.
Yeah, but...
Before we talk about the Kings.
Be nice-
Yeah.
Put the brakes on that
It'd
one.
be nice to see Game 83.
Yeah. Just, hey, fun fact about Game 83, totally off topic. David Legwand played 83 games last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That cool? Because he got traded. He
And
got
then
traded,
had
and then
an
he
extra
played
game.
one extra game.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do that? Like, there's
Yeah.
no...
There's no cap, I guess. On how many games you play.
But Bettman flies in with a parachute. No! Stop! David, you're not playing today. Why? This is game 83. You can't, no. But I have my criminal. No means no, David.
Well,
no means no. What
let's-
does Sidney want to play? It's different rules. I like him a lot more.
The day that
Get out of
Gary
here.
Bettman comes down from the rafters on a jump line,
I'm done.
sold.
Well, the thing...
That's when the booing stops.
The thing about Dave Legwand was I didn't even realize he played 83 games because he looked like he might have played 12 because he was so unnoticeable out there every time.
Yeah, he was on the fourth line in Detroit, though. I mean,
He was duh.
I know we're going a little off topic, but I'm just saying it kind of puts a smile on my face. The fact that Detroit's... I know I say Jets are fueled by mediocrity. Detroit, yes, they have pieces and they're good and they still made playoffs. But suddenly, like me growing up, it was like Detroit, Colorado, us growing up. Me, Detroit, Colorado, and all those guys. But Detroit's never like slipped when I'm younger. Or what in my life. They've never missed playoffs since I've been born. But
That's scary.
they're kind of like slowing off. Like Dan Boyle left a lot of money on the table for Detroit to play in New York, like with his friends. Like it's kind of cool to see at the end of the year. What I was getting to the point of Detroit was kind of like how guys are like, you know what, Detroit? You've lost your pizzazz. And Detroit's like, no, please come back. Please, I'll give you all the rental Little Caesars pizzas you want.
so you're
The
saying
rentals because they stay in your system for like an hour and then they're gone.
so you're saying that it's not as easy for them to get to entice people to come play for them now.
Yeah,
Did they
and
even-
it also, I mean...
They signed one guy.
They signed one guy.
Bankrupt.
They re-signed one player, and it was their own player. It was Kyle Quincy, 2 years.
Okay, so they didn't even get a guy.
No.
They did not go after a free agent.
No, they
Well,
went
they
after.
went after
went
guys.
after,
They lost
but-
out in a lot.
But everyone believes that Detroit's time to win is past them. It's...
Well,
or
we
it's
can't say they
just
didn't
coming
do
back.
any. They got 3 in like 12, 13 years.
Yeah, we say that now,
Wow.
and then 2 years from now, they'll have the Stanley Cup.
They
or
also had
something, and then-
3
They're that one team
5
that, like,
years.
I don't mind watching them, but I'd rather see other teams win.
No, they had 4 in 10 years.
Okay.
4 in
4
11,
and 10? Oh, there you
97, 98, I believe 2002, and then again in 08.
go. Oh, wait, right.
Last,
All right, so...
last back-to-back champs.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, apart from Detroit... Okay, let's get back to the
Okay,
Central.
well-
Who are...
Well, let's...
Let's go back. You guys stop talking because I have the list.
I am the end-all seal after you.
Do we want
Oh,
to, before we move on from the Jets, do we want to address the Twitter elephant in the room that is Danny Heatley?
Yes.
Oh!
Yes.
Greg, you guys know this. Go.
I've just seen...
Hashtag 50 and 15. Yeah, that's going to start. Let's do that.
I've just seen some Twitter. It's not experts. It's just people saying that Heatley to the Jets, and it's been a lot of people. So that's why I'm starting to wonder
I would...
what's.
See, I'd be okay with Heatley on the Jets.
No.
Why
Are you...
not?
No, I'm not against it. I'm just saying no, in a sense of like, are we enticed of like the phenomenon that is Danny Heatley because of the Twitter account? Like, oh, yeah, TJ Oshie scored 5 goals in the shootout today for USA, but you know what he didn't do? Hashtag 5007.
You know
It's
what,
like,
though?
Are we caught up in the folklore, or is it actually? Do you think if we could get him for 1.5 to 2 for 1 year, would it be worth the
If they
investment?
could get him for $2 million for a year or two and put him on the third line, or put him on one of the top 3 lines, I think he could help out a couple younger guys.
And it might motivate him to actually. I could realistically see him putting in like 15, 25 goals. Man, 15 to 20, I'll say. But that
15 to 20 is decent. That's better than what Setaguchi put up last year. It's honestly almost a better gamble than what Setaguchi was.
Yeah.
And
second
how
round.
old is Heatley? 32?
Yeah, he's in his early 30s. So
sure you would know.
you give him a 2-year. If you give him a 2-year, he's not going to ask for a lot of money because he knows he's washed up.
Yeah.
And
he's got something to prove because this will be the contract to maybe land him that 2 to 3 year ender contract. Because I don't know, I don't think he's an Iginla. I don't think he's a Timu. Like I think he's on the last couple years of his career and he knows that. And has he ever won though?
no.
Cup? He's never.
Well,
won.
he played with San Jose and Ottawa.
Oh, but
They were
he's
in the
been
final.
Cup
Oh, wait, who else did he play? Oh, yeah, that's right, Atlanta.
They were in the
Of course
final.
not.
He was in the Cup final with Ottawa,
Oh, that's right.
but they got destroyed. So,
Wow. Let's be honest, it was Ottawa. That was a stretch when Canadian teams were actually good, and now they're kind of not.
Okay, so
Good or
here,
lucky.
let's end this. What would you, Greg? What would you offer Danny Healy? What would you offer the contract?
1 year, 1.75 mil.
Dan.
1 year, 2 million.
Now, hypothetically, land him. Are you gonna get a Danny Healy jersey?
I'm gonna get a Jets t-shirt and go hashtag 50 and 15 and put Heatley's number 15 on
And
there.
on the lower bar, put heater
Maybe.
bombs or heater claps.
Yeah.
I will
Something.
make you guys a bet. Everyone can witness this. If we get Danny Heatley and he scores 50 goals this year, I will get a pro jersey, stitched, fight strap, everything. Like
Danny Heatley.
$500. Yes. If we
Wow.
get him and he scores 50 goals this year.
Man, how funny would it be if the Jets never have a 40-goal scorer, they just have a 50-goal scorer in Danny Heatley.
50 and nobody.
First Jets
No,
hat
it's
trick.
like, Heatley, oh!
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
No, it's going to be Chris Thorburn. Eric Bolton got
I'd
her
be
last
I
fine
want
with
it to end. I want this madness to end. The tension is palpable. Every time, like Antti Mietin in that stretcher, like what do you have? Like two goal games back to back. How dare you?
It's so funny whenever Jet gets 2 goals, everyone's like, hey, give him the puck, let him
The
score.
fans
let him
even
score."
almost stopped scoring. They're like, oh no, he's got the puck. Silence. He needs to concentrate. Shh. Be very careful. We're like, okay, so we gotta move on.
All right,
Central.
okay.
What did our
Central.
enemies do?
Okay, we'll start with
Everything.
we'll
Yeah.
start with St. Louis because they had the big fish.
Huh.
Paul Stastny, 4 years, $7 million.
You know what?
That's a lot of money for him. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. But you know what I love about who's the GM there? Doug Armstrong. Who's the
Oh,
GM in
jeez.
St.
You're
Louis?
asking me questions I don't know the answer to.
Okay, whatever. The
like
GM. No, that GM has the same philosophy as the Jays GM in the terms of he caps contracts.
That's a good example.
No, he caps contracts at years. He says he's sticking to his guns from here on out. The longest contract he will give is 4 years. I love that. And you know what? When Sassy comes out of it, he's still 32.
Okay, 4 years is not the problem. $7 million a year for a guy that puts up 50 to 60 points.
Look at the top line that they're thinking about putting together and playing. Steen, Stastny, Backus. I'm not trying to be mean, but that's real good.
How does that work? Backus and Stastny.
They're all centers.
Are both
All
centers.
three. No, all three of them are centers.
That's not their top line. That's their top 3 centermen.
No.
They're all going to be on
Steen can play left wing, and Backus is technically a right wing. I remember him in NHL games.
Percentage at all of them.
I remember in NHL games, Backus was a right winger in NHL games. So
And
that's
then
what
they
I'm going
have-
off of.
Well,
here.
they're waiting on. I don't know what.
Berglund?
They're waiting on.
They signed Berglund.
They
Oh,
signed.
did they?
They're waiting
Okay.
on Sabotka. I think.
They signed Berglund to Camden right down.
No,
Because
okay.
there's Vladimir Tarasenko that they still have. He's not a center. I'm not going through their centers. I'm just
But
trying
if
to
they
Oh,
have-
hammer out
Yuri
who they
Laterra.
have.
That's
They
who
have-
they signed. That's their third line.
Oh,
Stastny, Backus, and Berglund.
No,
That's their 3 centers.
No, but they said they're starting the year with those 3 on line 1.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
No, that's what
Well,
they were like. That's all the interviews.
Don't
And they
say...
signed Yuri
I'm not going to
Laterra.
fight Cam.
This
No.
guy they signed in. They signed their. Who does he come from? Oh, I wrote it down. Okay, Yuri Laterra. They signed him to a contract of like 1.15 1 year. He had to buy his way. A bunch of. I have notes. On
Oh,
this.
he bought
had to
his way
buy
out of his contract.
Yeah, he had to pay $600,000.
Paid in the neighborhood of $1 million to get
years.
out of his KHL contract with Novusk.
Don't worry about it.
Sabur. Good guy, St. Louis gave him $1.6 million signing bonus to compensate him for paying his way out of the contract
I
to
didn't
join
know
the
you
Blues.
sent Greg your notes too.
I sent it to everybody.
Yeah. So now I have the power as well.
Okay, so St. Louis. Okay, well, so
Yeah,
Clearly-
read the signings here, because
we'll move to the Avalanche.
oh, nothing else
No?
in St. Louis.
Hang on, we gotta go to the Avalanche. No, that's all the St. Louis did.
Okay, Avs.
Avs, they traded P.A. Parenteau and a 5th-round pick to Montreal for Danny Briere.
Danny Briere.
You know what I don't get about that? Okay, why did they have to throw in that? First off, okay, P.A. Parent's a big boy. Danny B is slower, older, but yeah, I guess he could teach him stuff. Why did they
Throw
send
in
the
a fifth?
pick?
I have no
That doesn't
idea.
make sense. You'd think the pick would be coming with. P.A. Parent's like a decent.
He's
still
got more
injury-
upside.
Yeah.
Injuries, so
Yep, that is true.
he
Okay.
got injured a lot.
Okay, what
last
else
year.
did
Jerome
Colorado?
McGinley, they signed
Oh, yes.
3 years, $16 million.
Okay, Greg, your thoughts on this? Because I know my thought on this. So go ahead.
So that's on average like 5.33 a year.
Yeah, what do you like it though?
I do like it. I don't think they needed to do the Danny Briere thing if they got Jerome McGinley.
Okay.
I think Jerome McGinley's a very experienced winger who has a lot to share with a guy like Nathan McKinnon.
Does he though? Because hold on, this is why I say this. The Avalanche beat guys on speed last
Yeah,
year.
you're right.
The reason McGinley fit in so well with Boston, they don't really have speedsters. They're just a good
Finesse team.
I'm not saying Colorado is not that, but he slows them down. I don't think it's the best fit. And
I don't know, but Milan Hayduk's been playing there for ages. And
Yeah, he retired, though.
yeah,
Yeah, I know he retired. I'm just saying that he was there for ages. And they always found a role for him. Same with Alex Tanguay.
and you know
He
what?
played there for a couple years.
Look
The-
at the line he's going to be on. He's going to be playing with either McKinnon or Duchesne.
The consensus is that Colorado got worse. They got
Yeah.
they got older and slower.
Yeah.
That's the consensus.
That
They
is
got
the
worse than
consensus.
they were last year.
I totally
Danny
agree
B was
with
a
that.
ghost this year, so that one was kind of
They
weird.
did.
That was weird.
They did ink a Jet though, former Jet.
Yeah.
Zach Redmond, 2 years, $1.5 million. Now
Is that a two-way or one-way?
One way.
one way.
Really?
Yeah.
He's going to be on their team. He will be in their top 4 by the end of the year.
Hold on.
They
Plays
don't
with
have-
Tyson Barrie. Oh, my God.
sweet
They
man.
don't have any
that'd be
they have a
amazing.
good defense core, but they don't have any. They don't have like a high
Yeah,
Okay,
star powered defensive core.
but the reason
Johnson, Hayda, Barrie, they had Stephon Elliott. He played for a couple games a couple years ago and did okay. Hasn't really come up since. They re-signed Nick Holden, who was, he's okay.
he was a bottom pair.
Yeah, they don't really have, they didn't have a star-studded D. And one of the things that hurt them against Wild in the playoffs for sure was when they lost Barrie.
And the speed,
Dirty
the
speed,
Wild
and
beat
they
them
got
on
slower.
speed, and they got slower.
Yeah. Wild also beat them in puck possession.
Yeah.
Colorado's one of the worst puck possession teams in the league.
But what I'd like to say about back to Redmond really quick. Redmond, the reason apparently we extended, we offered him, but the reason he said he didn't come back to us is because of opportunity. He's got to take it now, obviously.
Yeah.
He'll
But
get playing.
He's
guaranteed
stuck
playing
behind.
time.
He's a right-handed shot. He's stuck right-handed behind Bogo, I guess Buff will count, and Trouba. So he wasn't going to get the opportunities. And when a younger
Isn't Postma right-handed as well?
yes, and Postman. There you go. Holy smoke! See,
Yeah, that's tough. That's
and you know what?
tough.
Colorado's an up-and-coming team. It's very enticing. Who wouldn't want to go there after what they did in the playoffs and last season? The 26
And if he
point
performs
differential.
well, he'll probably get another extension and maybe make more money.
I could very well see him in their top 4 by the end of the year.
Yeah.
If he gets
Not
playing
hard,
time.
though.
No, but if he gets playing
Yeah,
time,
you're right.
Yeah.
And also Bruno Gervais, who's also a defenseman.
Oh, so he's
That is
he's the
He'll be
party
bottom.
signing for that.
He'll be the
Okay.
party sign. Yeah,
Yeah.
650K.
All right, moving on to Chicago. Brad Richards, 1 year, $2 million.
Steal of the free agency.
Yep.
Brad Richards at $2 million after what he signed for in New
$2
York.
million is a hell of a lot better than $12 million.
Hey,
He's-
hey,
hey,
he's
guys.
smiling. This is a phone call I want to reenact. Greg, you can be Brad Richards. I'm going to be Stan Bowman.
Okay.
Hey, Brad, it's Stan Bowman here in Chicago. This is not what Stan Bowman sounds like. I'm just making up voices. This is Stan Bowman here. I was just wondering, would you like to come play for the Blackhawks organization?
Sure, how much money are you going to pay me?
Well, since you're already making $3.06 million for the next, ever, because New York's ridiculous, $2 million, you'll be second line. But you'll get to piggyback either Patrick Sharp or Patrick Kane. Your choice. We'll let you pick. I don't really care.
So I get to play on a team that'll do something in the playoffs?
Well, we might do something, yes. But we'd like you to be a part of that.
$2 million.
Correct.
Could I get 2.5?
No 2.5 and you don't get number 19. I'm going to pick your number. You're wearing 73.
Fine, deal.
Done. That was it. That's how it happened. That's exactly how it happened. I have recording. Anything else they did?
Well, no. Let's just focus on that.
They did
Oh,
sign
Peter
Peter
Regan.
Regan, re-sign 1 year, 600.
I'm okay with that because he's a depth centerman.
Yeah.
But the thing I like about this Richards signing is think back a couple years. The last time they won the Stanley Cup, who was their second line center
For the
Hawks?
Ooh.
In 2010?
Second line center or third line center, also known as the Canuck Killer.
The Canuck
Steve.
Jet Killer?
No, the Canuck Killer.
Who's the Canuck Killer?
Canuck Killer?
The one, the only Dave Bolland.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was...
Because
I
I don't know if
thinking
you guys
of
remember that. Dave Bolland was injured, came back for later on in the Vancouver series and just tore Vancouver a new one. But Dave Bolland was the second line center for a while.
How are you comparing Dave Bolland to Brad Richards?
No,
right
I'm not.
Okay.
But Dave
Actually,
Bolland's
they're about equal.
No.
They're about equally talented.
But Dave Bolland's making 5.5 and Mike Richards making 2. What's the better option? Like,
because it's Florida,
Because
they had to
I
do
know.
something.
Florida has to pay them that much or they won't go there.
if someone's like, hey, you want to go play professional hockey in Florida for $600,000? Hell yeah, I'm going to Florida.
Yeah.
Upside,
Let's go play in front of 10 fans.
I don't care.
no taxes in Florida. No taxes.
That's true.
Straight
That's
cash money.
Man, you could go work, like, no one cares. So who cares about staying in shape? You could just go hit the golf course, have 10 beers, and then go play hockey. Who cares?
And upside,
And that is why they are in the bottom 5.
and you know what? They dislike
Hey.
their fans so much that they put cardboard behind the goalie. It doesn't make... What is happening? Okay, though.
The problem with that is they've never sold those seats before. So they were surprised that people were sitting in that front row
They're like, oh,
behind the glass.
hey, look.
People are actually here.
Here,
What?
don't be mad. Move to the side. Here's a free T-shirt. Enjoy.
They
You
probably
want
let
a hot
them
dog?
move to the sides where it's empty. So
Yeah,
But
well, hey.
I do honestly like that Brad Richards signing.
Oh, yeah.
That's
that'll
so
be a
cool.
good deal.
Now,
Does Patrick Sharp start the year with Chicago? Because they are in major cap problems.
hold on. Can I say something
Are
about
they?
this?
Yes.
Well, Taves
have-
and Kane are asking for $12 million each.
They have less than
What
$2 million to sign players, and they have to re-sign Taves and Kane.
Well,
No,
for
not
at
this
the end
year.
of next year. they
Yeah,
have to
End of
resign.
next year.
But if
They will have to do something.
if they sign Kane and Taves, they're handcuffing themselves, and this is what's going to happen. They're going to have to either get rid of like a Seabrook, a Sharp. They're going to have to get
Both.
rid of like both to afford that deal. I respect those guys, and they deserve all the money they can get. But I
Wouldn't
think
you
they should
take
take
the
the
home-
hometown discount.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wouldn't you take like not $8 million each? Because cap's going to go up next year. We don't know how much. It all depends on how good the Rogers deal is. Because it like the ceiling's sky's the
know what
limit
it
for
looks
this
like.
deal.
Yep.
So we'll see how much it goes up due to viewership. But this like $8 million. What's an extra 3? Really?
You mean what's 3 less?
Yeah. What's an extra $3 million gonna do for you?
Oh.
If you can't support your, like, if you think
Yeah.
about it, $3 million around you, that's $6 million if both of them take $8 million, let's say.
Yep.
That's $6 million. That's the ability to sign. Who signed for $6 million this year in free agency?
Nobody.
Well, Dave Bolland.
Well, I guess we could use a somewhat kind of close contract for Radim Verbata. $5 million a year.
Yeah, there you go.
Here you go. That's a good one.
That's another supporting cast player.
Actually, you know what? Spezza might even take less than $6 million to be second line. We should go back to Central though, because we
Yeah.
got
The next team,
Yeah.
the next team, ironically, is the team that probably did the most. Dallas.
I got way
Jason
too good.
Spezza and Ludwig Carlson from Ottawa.
And
Gave up nothing. Gave up Alex Chason.
The worst. Well, Chanson's okay, but he's not. Nothing
He's not gonna.
fantastic.
He's not gonna put Ottawa where they want to be.
No, but they needed to get rid of Spezza. 'cause he didn't
Also
wanna play
signed Hemsky, 3 years, $12 million. Re-signed Fiddler, 2 years, $2.5 million,
Great
and
depth
signed
signing.
Patrick Eves, 4th liner, 1 year, $650K.
there. And they'll have Rich Peverly come back, and he'll be the jack of all trades again.
back from the grave.
Somehow.
Hold
No,
on.
you know what's scary though, is
They still
Jamie
have
Benn
that
when
defense.
he came into the league was a left winger. Could you imagine your first line being Ben, Spezza, Sagan? I know you guys spread talent around, but like, and I know that Nutrishkin played unreal with Sagan and Ben last year, but could you just imagine Spezza, Ben?
and
Sagan?
then even
That's a top line. That's a second line on Team Canada.
But even if their top line from last year, their second line is going to be Spezza, Hemsky, and someone else. That's still a good second
they
line.
have 2 scoring lines. And you know what?
That
It
are
scares
just
me about
deadly.
this one. Hemsky flourished in Edmonton. He had top line, but then when the younger kids came in, he played second line, and he did real good in Ottawa because, well, Sorry,
Yeah, no,
let me back up. Spezza, Hemsky always had the top pairing. When Hemsky played second line, and he had the second defensive pairing, oh man, he can make some moves.
He's still got his skills.
And him and Spezza on line 2. Now you gotta double shift your D, or you have to better make sure you contain your minutes. Like Charlie Huddy's still around, right, for Jets?
Yeah.
Charlie Huddy. Who are
you gonna play? Enstrom Bogo against him or Trouba Stewart? Well,
Trouba Stewart's realistically a shutdown line, so I would say that. But
now,
no,
wouldn't you want Trouba Stewart against the Sag and Ben line though?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then okay, do you want Party and Postma or do you want
Party and Klitzen? You forgot about.
Oh, it's Klitzen.
Forgot about the Klitty.
The Clit Party. Yeah, that's right.
You can't say that.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Oh, the Clit Party. Okay, Adam Party. I didn't make the connection.
Come on.
Back to what Spezza ending up in Dallas. So Alex Chiasson, Brian Murray had to take what he can get. His hands were literally handcuffed, and Spezza's like, yeah, these are like the 5 teams I'm going to, and I'm not going to be Josh Georges and make my list bigger. So have fun with that.
And how does Brian Murray say chase on with a lisp?
Alex Chiasson, I'm real excited about the acquisition. He's a real gritty. He has lots of perseverance. He's a real speedster, He's going to get in the corners. He's going to muck it up real good. He's feisty. I like it.
That is why they got him.
Yeah.
to play with Cece too, right?
Oh, Cody Cece. Don't even get me started. He's just absolutely unbelievable shutdown. I don't even know if he sat down. Just Cece. I say to my sleep, Cece. Cece, Cody, Cece.
Oh, God.
Anyways.
Guys, just don't forget that we have to play these teams next year a lot.
The only downfall Dallas might have is their defense is not very good.
No.
Yeah, but then, hey, look at that goalie. Dan, you remember that goalie, don't you? Kari Lettinen?
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Woo! Okay.
Mr.
Next.
Injury prone?
Yeah.
Until he went to Dallas. Just could decide to rip it up in Dallas.
Yeah.
Well,
He was good in Atlanta. He just was hurt. Last team in the Central, Nashville. They got James Neal.
We talked about that.
No, they did more than we did.
Oh, yeah, no, they did.
They got James Neal, and they signed Olli Jokinen.
2.5?
1 year, $2.5 million.
Which is what I thought we would sign Olli Jokinen for.
That's
if we got him back.
That's fair for what
I like Mathieu. I would take Mathieu anytime.
There's more
Olli
potential with Perot.
I heard Oli was going to end up in Edmonton. And deep down, I was like, please no, Oli. You deserve better than that.
He has a slightly better chance of winning a Stanley Cup in Nashville.
Yeah.
Slightly.
And did they do
they at least
else?
have a goaltender.
That is all they did. So out of all the Central teams, Jets probably did the least. Are they the worst?
Nashville's still pretty bad, minus having Shea Weber.
Oh, fun fact about James Neal,
and
really quick. Or I think I talked about this last time. First $5 million forward Nashville has ever had in the franchise.
No, you did not talk about
Ever.
that. Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's kind of nuts. No wonder they had problems scoring.
He's the first forward that can score goals that they've had in the franchise.
Well, hey, he's been playing with Gino, so we'll find out how good he really is.
Yeah, that's true. But, wow, who knew that, $1 million correlated with scoring?
Yeah. Oh, so, in the Central, if you were...
Jeez.
Who would you say... We're not going to go in
You're not
perfect...
the pecking order. Just
1-7.
Are they
Who's going to be 1? Who's going to be 7 in the division?
St. Louis is going to be number 1.
Okay. Greg?
Nashville's going to be number 7.
Okay.
I'm going to go Chicago.
Okay.
Nashville.
All right. I'm going to be the guy in this one. All right. Okay.
Yeah. You're going to go Winnipeg,
I'm going to say
you?
St. Louis, Winnipeg. I'm sorry.
I'm
saying
that's
Winnipeg
fair.
7. Just right now, I'm saying Winnipeg 7. Because if we maybe sign a backup or maybe do one more because we need that. We need a winner on the third line there.
Okay.
Or on a line.
When we get Heater.
Let's be honest, though.
We get Heater 1.
Yeah.
Winnipeg.
Hashtag 15-15. Okay. Worst starting goalie in the Central has to belong to us. There's no other goalie that's as bad.
Yeah.
Brian Elliott's at least had a couple good years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Regarding...
we have the worst goalie in the Central.
We do. But hey, look at all of our drafting. Just this year, really quick. We drafted every forward we drafted under 6 feet. Every defense we drafted over 6 feet. And we drafted D who know how to block shots. That's what we have to do. We're like, hey, we have to block shots until basically we run out of the PAV contract. And then maybe we can sign draft forwards that could score. But until then, character players. That's all we're taking.
But when you think about it, look at the highest block shot team. Probably has the best goalie in the league, or one of the top 3.
We're talking L.A.?
No, New York. They block shots like madmen.
Yep. They do.
I like how your voice. Man, it's not fair. It's true. They play 6. We have that running joke.
They have
Everyone
like
does.
5 guys.
They have They have 6 goalies on the ice, and every so often that one goalie gets lucky and scores. What's next?
That's how
They don't play defense well. They just block shots.
That's how they hung around the Cup final. Because they got dominated for probably 95% of that series.
Yeah.
And then they just took advantage of their break.
They don't have white skin after. It's just all black and blue.
Yeah, they didn't let them take
shots.
in between periods. They couldn't take off their pads because they wouldn't fit back on.
Just
all right.
Yeah, everywhere.
Let's do a quick recap of elsewhere. I'll just pick out ones that sound interesting.
Well, let's go to the West.
Anaheim, we already talked about Kessler last week.
Yeah, did they sign anyone notable?
Clayton Stoner, Nate
Nope.
Thompson. So
that's not
bottom
really.
pair.
You mean a guy with the last name Stoner going to California? Come on. Let's be honest here.
Okay, Anaheim.
Bottom pair defenseman, third, fourth line.
Okay.
Forward.
Yeah, nothing big there. How about Phoenix? Did
LA did nothing.
Yeah, well, they got.
They
Gabrick.
don't need to do anything.
No,
they're going to win the Stanley Cup again.
They're so good.
Wow, really?
And they got Gabrick, so they're good.
They very well could.
Yeah,
Phoenix.
I know.
Anything.
Arizona, they got Sam Gagner.
No, that was the best 15 minutes ever. Out of like 45 minutes.
What happened?
Sam Gagner traded to Tampa Bay.
Bay
turns around and trades him. I love the Twitter. Like, James Duthie was like, okay, guys, we have to do this. Favorite Sam Gagner moments in Tampa Bay. Discuss. It was, Twitter loved that. And, like, I saw so many people, dear NHL, or at NHL Shop, please help. I ordered a Tampa Bay Sam Gagner jersey. I don't know what to do.
I don't understand this trade for Tampa Bay because they got rid of Teddy Purcell, who's a good player.
They were
had a hat-trick against
second line winger. He's a second line winger. They got rid of him for Gagner, and then they dumped Gagner for a 6th-round pick.
The reason he did that, they were clearing cap because they signed Anton Strawman.
But why?
That was a
why
good
not
pick
just
up.
trade Teddy to Arizona for a 6th and then save the Gagner move? I mean, just doesn't make
Maybe
sense.
Gagner was a piece to, I don't know.
Maybe,
I don't know. Who cares?
And you know what, Gagner, I think Dave Tippett he's good at turning around kids and like teaching them defense because Sam Gagner is not the strongest at defense. I think.
He's from Edmonton. No one knows how to play defense. They're not even their
rushed him
defensemen.
in when he was 18. And in junior, he played
did.
with Tavares and Patrick Kane.
He did have 8 points in one game against the Blackhawks.
That was awesome. I remember that update.
That was awesome.
It's like, Patrick or
Sam Gagner.
Sam Gagner, 7 points. 8. Whoa, hey, 8.
Oh.
What?
Okay.
Oh, who was I playing fantasy that night? Oh, the guy Sam Gagner. Oh, great.
Beautiful.
24 points.
So Phoenix, nothing else?
Devin Dubnyk, near NRK backup.
He really sucked.
Vancouver.
I would have taken him as a backup.
Okay, Vancouver.
Vancouver talked about Bonino last week.
Yeah.
Ryan Miller, 3 years, $18 million.
Yeah, his
$6
favorite moment
million
is
a
losing
year.
that silver medal, I think.
Oh, in Vancouver.
He is great. Just
know
a
what?
great performance in big games in Vancouver. Like, clutch games, he's really good.
He's in big games in Vancouver. Whether he plays well in them, that's different.
Well, no, he played well in that gold medal game. He just didn't win it.
That's
You
true.
can't, like...
But that's,
I like this signing.
And they're used to disappointment.
I like this signing.
He's better
It's a
than
good
what they
signing.
had to finish the year last year.
Honestly, it's going to give Eddie Lack a couple more years to come along. And as Moose fans, all of us, we have seen Eddie Lack, and he is actually a decent goaltender.
Yeah.
So he could carry that team in a few years.
Exactly. And
No
it never
need to
hurts
rush him.
developing goalies,
Never hurts.
i.e. Corey Schneider.
Now-
right? So.
I'm actually going to come around here and
Yeah.
ask you guys this question. Considering there is a goalie now available almost in Vancouver in Jakob Markstrom, would you go after him
As a backup.
as a backup for the Jets?
No, because they already have Hutchinson pegged as the number one guy, so there's no point in having another guy that might be a number one. Because he's not.
He would be a backup for us.
He's a
this
backup
year.
right now, but he's a guy that they think
I see
he's
what
still
you mean.
building to be number one goalie.
And look at
and
that contract they gave
the
him.
Jets have
That's
Hutchinson.
Oh, yeah.
The Jets have Hutchinson, so I don't see the point in bringing in another guy that's in the same boat.
I still don't see Hutchinson being our number one in a few years. I think it's going to be Hellebuck or Eric Connor.
Connor. Yeah.
I
don't think so. Hutchinson had a pretty good year.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that, but sometimes it's tough to make that transition.
He
From
played
AHL to NHL.
ECHL, AHL, and NHL.
Well, that sounds like James
As
Reimer.
long as Pavlik's not playing for us, I don't give a crap.
Okay. So we had... where were we on?
Vancouver also
Vancouver.
signed Verbata, 2 years, $10 million. That's okay.
That's a decent contract.
He's good, but that's pretty steep.
The reason he went there too is because he said he
wanted to play
couldn't
with
pass
the-
up
yeah.
playing with the Sedins.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, he'll do well, considering
guy
that Mike
put up,
Santarelli did so well.
The guy
in-
put
in-
up like
in Vancouver.
almost, or did he put up like something like 50 points in Phoenix?
Yeah,
He
no,
scored
he can't.
20
That's the
goals in
equivalent
Phoenix.
of like a
50
lot
or
more
20,
points.
20 goals, 31 assists.
Yeah,
That's great.
I like it.
I
don't mind that one.
like that deal.
Little much for the 5, but
I like the deal. I just think it's a little much. That's the only
Hey,
thing.
it's okay, guys. They actually have money now that they don't have the rule longer,
That is
so it's
true.
fine.
Verbata would have been a good pickup for the Jets.
Yeah,
I really thought they were going to go.
I'm guessing they weren't willing to spend that much.
No. They already have before they pay.
we're not going to pay him more than Brian Lara.
I guess we can talk about Calgary since Cam's a fan.
Air quotations.
You know what? I like.
They signed Mason Raymond 3 years, 9.5. Jets should have been in on him.
Could we just have a round of applause for Mason Raymond having? Oh no, okay. But Mason Raymond going from like bottom line in Vancouver to just having a great year last year
Well, also
to
'cause
now
he-
getting his payday. He was in a what's that? Conditional tryout last year for Toronto,
Well, because
and
he
is
busted
now making.
his back. Remember that?
No, I understand.
Yeah,
that.
but didn't he have injury problems?
Well, yeah, he
broke
busted his back.
in the cup
Vancouver,
final.
And
But
then
that, you know what?
it's
Awesome
a
on him.
success story.
Yeah, and
It really
everyone
is.
likes like
He's come
he's
back.
fast. He can play in all
he's
positions.
so fast.
Okay, so Mason
really
Raymond,
good.
that's decent. I want to point out one that really doesn't make sense at all.
The Jonas Heller
No,
Derek
Engelland.
Engelland.
Derek
for
Engelland,
$3 million, $2 million.
$2.9 million per. His average annual salary leading up to this was $800,000. I get that you're bringing in, like they've even brought in Brandon Bolig in a trade. You're bringing in big guys to defend your little guys, but $3 million? I'm pretty
they-
sure he would have been happy with $1 million.
I'm
Why?
pretty sure he's not worth $1 million.
Are
Who
they
else
are
did
they
they
gonna
even
have a
sign?
are they gonna have a problem hitting the cap floor? Is that why?
Probably.
Because I remember a couple years
right.
ago,
Yeah.
Florida had to sign guys like Fleischman for like $3 million.
That was this year too.
Oh, it's
Well,
Florida.
we'll get to that.
Apparently they. Well, yeah, I don't know if you want me to say this, but apparently Florida spent $60 million in the first 6 hours of free agency this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for them. Yeah.
Oh, and last
Only
signing for
over-
Calgary, I think anything.
Was
Jonas Hilla.
1 year or
Whatever.
2 year,
Two.
$9 million, 4.5.
So you guys have a number
Oh.
one goalie for the time being.
And
Yeah,
I
good.
just want to point
Good.
out his
It's okay.
nickname is Vertigo. So that's his.
Let's go with that. Yeah,
Fair.
he's awesome. I don't care.
I like it.
I like
Good
it.
signing.
Can't
Yeah,
complain.
no, just another good goalie. At least, or the Jets have to play against. That's fine.
Brandon
All right.
Bolig and
I guess we can talk about Edmonton since they're Canadian and all.
Yeah, of course.
Teddy Purcell should be a Jet also, but whatever.
Whatever.
Whatever Chevy, that's fine.
Kevy C.
You know what I was thinking the other day?
Why don't?
Every trade deadline or every free agent day, there's so much hype about the Jets, and then Chevy does nothing, and everyone's like, you're useless. Come on, get off your butt and do something. Day off is in his name.
Oh, yeah. But also we're Canadian, and as we talked about, we're probably one of the most passionate fan bases. So obviously we're going to create hype whether there's wasn't. there
And
to
I
begin
think he's being patient because I think he thinks they have the pieces, and that's the
You know
consensus.
what?
nothing's wrong
I
with
think that is
waiting.
the consensus.
That's the consensus. They have to put it together. They
They
could
need one more guy.
they could use a
For that
couple
top-
pieces, but
Well,
I mean,
okay. So let's say we get Heatley. Let's put this hypothetically. Heatley, Frolik, Bufflin. That rounds out our top 9, right? Ladd, Little.
Wheeler.
No, okay, let's go. Ladd, Little, Frolik. Mathieu,
Kane,
Kane, Bufflin.
Wheeler, Heatley, Shifley.
That ain't bad.
That's
You
a
could
that's
put-
a not a
Yeah,
bad
you
You
top
could
9.
put Heatley with Shifley. That might help. I mean,
Yeah.
he could mentor him too.
Yeah, and then your bottom line being Slater.
Hold on, I just want to say
Slater,
I
Puliso,
hope
Thorburn.
Heatley doesn't mentor him on how to drive.
Oh.
I went there.
Had to say it.
I did.
I
Okay.
still liked your idea of Danny Heatley handing out the Dan Schneider Memorial Award, though.
I'm a terrible person. Okay.
That's so
Where are we?
Edmonton. Benoit Pouliot, 5 years, $20 million, overpaid.
Okay. Edmonton
underrated.
is
but
in the
overpaid.
situation like us.
Underrated, but
They will
overpaid,
have to
yes.
overpay. And you know what? I like what they did in terms of bringing in the big boys. Keith Ollie does not count as one of those big boys. He is a big orange pilot.
I didn't even know they signed him, so that's news
Yeah.
to me.
Keith
Wait,
Ollie.
he is about as useful as that trash compact, or what is that, paper shredder
Yeah.
in the corner of this room.
He is the modern day Chris Draper for $1 player.
Yeah.
Oh, he is
So,
just...
yeah, they got Pouliot, Fane,
Oh, yeah.
Urso,
Yeah,
Ollie,
I don't
all
Fane.
above 6'2". All above 6'2". Which, hey, they need those guys.
They're
Oh,
going
and
big.
Nikita
They're going
Nikitin, they signed him
Yeah.
earlier, but big body.
Yeah.
Hey, they're in that odd, awkward
Oh.
stage in terms of they have D prospects, but
Does
they're
Darnell
not
Nurse
ready.
play this year?
They're not ready.
No?
What's that?
Do you think Darnell Nurse is ready
I
this
think
year?
Darnell plays this year. Personally, I think he plays.
Yeah, that's the first prospect they've ever not let go right into their...
He's huge, and he
Yeah.
can't. There's no use sending him back to the OHL,
No.
and he's not gonna. He
He's
might
not.
learn a little bit. Even if he starts in the A, he's first call up automatically. First call up.
Well, he'll just go party with Kevin Durant in Oklahoma City.
There we go.
Wow, that's KD Trey's a party guy. Right there.
Okay, let's move to the East for a
Yeah.
bit. I'll just do some of the big ones. Pittsburgh, Christian Ehrhoff was their big
$4
fish.
million.
1 year, $4 million.
However, they did lose Niskanen and Brooks Orpik, who went to...
We'll get there. But
Yeah. We all
Ehrhoff, 1 year, $4 million. That's not bad.
That's
That's.
deal.
I wouldn't
That's
call it
better
a steal, but it's a great.
They
deal.
also
That's a
signed
good deal
Steve
for them.
Downey to be their...
Tanner Glass, they
Enf-
lost him. They had to
enforcer,
replace him.
so-
Yep. Next.
Did you know Tanner Glass had the lowest Corsi rating in the entire NHL last year?
So when he's on the ice, he hurts his team more
Yeah.
than he helps.
Mm-hmm. Means he doesn't
Maybe
take
it's
any
good
shots,
that he didn't
and
come
teams have more shots against when he's on the ice.
Wasn't
Yeah,
he-
because he's a liability. to
Wasn't
them.
he on their penalty kill, though?
I don't know.
I don't know,
Maybe.
Maybe when he
I wouldn't-
doesn't know what a line change. He's the reason Dan Bosma got fired.
There it is.
He is the
There.
reason.
Okay, go ahead.
He just smirks at night. Just
Rangers,
laughing.
Rangers, Dan Boyle, 2 years, $9 million. Apparently, he had more money offered from Detroit, but he wants to play. He wanted to play with Marty, and he wanted to win a cup. So
Okay.
I can't see Rangers going
I don't-
far again, but
No, neither do I. They don't
You
have
know
the
what?
scoring.
if
there
I'm,
were better teams in the Eastern Conference that they didn't have to play last year.
if I'm preemptively picking the Eastern Conference Final next year, I'm gonna say Tampa Rangers
Why would you say Tampa?
because they did a lot of good stuff.
Tampa,
they did
Tampa
good stuff.
could be there. Tampa.
Okay.
Could be
Anyways, next
Okay.
team.
Rangers.
Okay.
After Boyle, they signed Tanner Glass, 3 years, 4.35, fourth line.
Okay.
Okay.
Re-signed Dominic Moore, fourth line again,
Awesome.
but effective.
Yeah, good
Yep.
for him.
That was pretty much all they did.
Okay.
Philly, they got RJ Umberger. That was the Scott Hartnell trade.
And then,
Happened
Yeah.
last week.
yeah.
Okay. What else happened? No. What other news came out of Philly? There was
Can we
something-
just leave that to last
there
or
was-
right now?
There was something that happened.
There was an
I can't
altercation on
remember-
Canada Day. Claude Giroux was, I want to say, I'm pretty sure he was inebriated, which is drunk for those who aren't wordsmiths and have an unbelievable lexicon like me. Just kidding. As I sit here wearing my Flyers hat, it brings me weird news I got that day. Claude Giroux arrested for repeatedly, keyword, grabbing a male police officer's buttocks. So,
Not just once. Several times.
yeah, repeatedly. So, you can answer it.
No, I'm not taking the phone call during the podcast.
Well, at least decline
What
it.
if
or
it's-
something.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
What if
fine.
it's Berkey? He wants
No.
to offer you a contract.
Hey, it's
to play for
Berkey.
the
You
Flames.
take that. Hey, Sam Bennett for who? Thorburn. Let's do it. Send me some.
right now?
Send me some of that.
Maybe we have a
Winnipeg.
caller. You just
No.
think of that?
No, it's okay. We're okay.
Okay.
Phone's off now.
Probably
Yeah,
Mo.
Claude Giroux. Have
Not
fun.
once, not
you
twice,
just gave the whole
But
league.
3 times.
Nothing wrong with grabbing men's asses if you're into that. By all means, go ahead.
Yeah.
But
I don't mind.
Claude Giroux is.
Does he
quite-
swing that way?
No,
no.
Even if he did, it wouldn't matter. I'm just saying,
He was-
why
No,
would you
no,
do
no,
it to
no.
a police
No,
officer
no,
3
doesn't
times?
matter.
No, he was trying to, it was a joke to him. Like, he was trying to get a joke, and he said it went too far, and it got out of hand, and he apologized. And
Oh, he did
whatnot.
apologize, and he
But-
took the high road.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But he gave the whole NHL. Like, he is a chirper. We all know
Oh.
that. All NHL guys are. He gave the NHL, free pass to just unbelievable to just let loose at him.
Oh, yeah.
Philly, did they do...
Scotty Hartnell, first game,
One-
guaranteed does something
Yes.
to him.
One more just on the Giroux thing.
Yeah.
From the last 2 off seasons, we've learned that he's pretty frisky, and apparently he's a terrible golfer.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Columbus, Scott Hartnell.
You should just lock him up during
Yeah.
the off season.
Columbus is in... I just want a quick note that they're in a... because... what's his name? Ryan Johansson
Johansson.
is in a contract dispute with them,
Yeah.
his second contract. But the reason they brought in the collective
guys.
bargaining or CBA and all that is so that players couldn't swoop and get all this money in their second contract. They wanted bridge contracts. Apparently, the first contract that Columbus offered to Ryan Johansson, no one else, Ryan Johansson said it was like a slap in the face to me. He came out and said that. You know what? I'm not against that because he understands his value to the franchise.
Yeah.
He knows that the franchise knows their value. He's not going to try and take them for all they're worth. But what did they offer him that would bring him out and say it's a slap in the face? And why are you lowballing your franchise player
I
at
would
this
say
point?
that they wanted to give him a
Because-
bridge contract around $3 million for 2 years.
I'm
You do this, and you get a big pay
Like
raise.
three per.
3 per.
Okay.
The reason being is I like those kinds of contracts for younger guys. I believe PK Subban did something similar
He
before.
did? Yeah.
It's just something to see if you're worth the 6.5,
It's a
7.
mini investment to the monster investment.
Yeah,
I get it.
then you go 2 years, and then you can go the 6-7 route after that.
Yeah.
For 6-7 per.
Yeah.
If you're really worth it.
Yeah, of course.
And
All right.
I like that. But he probably thought that was.
I
slap in
also
the face?
I also
An
think
insult.
that they're a little tied with money because they don't make money. They don't get a lot of fans, and he's
But
gonna.
they are the 5th line.
I was just going to say that, Greg. Come on. Wait, go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
If the Jets were in that division, they would have made the playoffs. But
Well, if they were in the East, they would have been playoffs.
I think they're.
What was our record against East playoff?
I just-
or
We
East
would have made
teams
the
last year?
playoffs in year 1 if it wasn't for that stupid overtime point. Florida, 19 overtime losses. What
the
or
hell?
19 overtime games.
That's
Yeah.
true. We would have won the Southeast Division.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
I just think that they're a little handcuffed with money, and I think they're waiting until they have a couple good years in a row so that they can
And then we'll
So
justify
bring out would
paying
be
him,
why they want that
paying
bridge
him
contract.
6, 7, whatever he
Yeah,
wants,
okay, that's fair.
whatever he's worth. What do we got? Yeah, that's all. Columbus didn't sign a single player.
That's
They
all
made
right,
2
they did.
trades. They just
So Detroit didn't sign a player.
They made 2 trades. What was
Detroit didn't sign a
Second
free
trade-
agent, and neither did
Columbus.
Columbus, and neither did LA.
yeah.
What was-
Second trade was Matt Fratton.
And
back
neither
to
did Nashville.
Toronto.
over
Oh
Jerry
no, Nashville
Domingo.
signed.
Right.
Yeah. Oh.
Down to the possibly the 2 worst deals of the day. Washington. Matt Niskanen, 7 years, $40 million.
Which is what a year.
Dollar
575?
bills, y'all.
Almost $6 million. That one I'm okay with, but I mean he's only had 1 really good year, so that could be complete.
I don't
Failure.
think either of those guys are worth over $5 million.
Well, we
This is
haven't even
not-
mentioned the other one yet, which is Brooks Orpik at 5.5 a year
For how long?
for 5 years.
Who would you take on your team? Toby, Matt Niskanen, go.
Toby.
Niskanen, but not for
Nope,
Same money.
Same money.
Same
Same
money.
money?
They are the exact same money at this moment.
Toby. He's
They are-
Toby has gotten 50 points. I think 2 or 3 times.
Like, but on a team that he shouldn't be putting up those numbers
No.
per se.
They are worth the same amount of money right now. And you guys both just said Toby, and I would take Toby as well.
Is that
Matt-
also because of our Winnipeg bias, or just in general?
No,
I love what Toby does. He is a great puck moving defenseman. Is amazing on the power play, and I watched a lot of that Penn series. Matt Niskanen was good, but he wasn't great. And I feel that Enstrom can be great.
thing with Toby too. He's really good defensively. He's just really small.
Yeah.
I want to say defensively about Toby. I want to find this stat before something like say if I die real fast suddenly. I want to find this stat. Toby, ever since they got Buff, Toby has to lead the league every year in 2-on-1, being the only defenseman.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Buff is just. I'm not saying he's slow, but he's not fast.
That is why he's playing forward now.
Yeah. But I would take Toby. Go ahead.
Yeah.
That Brooks Orpik deal, I think it's terrible because Brooks Orpik, it's like, Caps are high flying per se, you know what I mean? It's a faster team, it's a faster Eastern Conference. Why would you sign a guy who's not known for speed?
He's 32 years old. In 5 years, he'll be making $5.5 million.
At 37.
He's not worth
being
5.5.
slow.
I like him.
I could beat him to the outside, and I am by no means fast.
I like him. He's a great second pair shutdown defenseman, but he's not worth $5.5
What would you give him?
million.
If you could redo that contract for Washington, what would you do?
4.25.
3 to 3.5.
4.25.
Okay. Well, fine. We'll round out at 4. Term, what are you giving him? 3?
3.
3 to 4.
Especially if
Okay.
I'm Washington.
Okay.
3.
All right.
Yeah.
The reason being Washington, I think those contracts are too long because their window of winning is like 3 years ago. But
Another thing that's really quick about
coming-
Washington, they said that they aren't trading Mike Green. So that blue line is kind of
expensive.
expensive and crowded.
That will change. I don't think Mike Green will last the whole year there.
No, I don't think either.
I
I don't think he starts
By the end
season.
of the season, I think he'll be good.
I don't think he starts the season.
You don't
he-
think so?
Mm-mm.
Where do you think he goes?
They have $30 million
somewhere
in
not
their
there.
D.
Edmonton?
See, everyone wants to say
Edmonton for Yak? There you go, Yak and Ovi.
Hey, he changed his number to 10, so look up us. Hey, Yakupov,
What was he before?
64.
64.
It's
He wanted to
only
be well known
uphill.
like Crosby, you know, like how everyone has 87 now as like the hero number. He wanted Yakupov, he wanted 64 to be the hero number.
Yeah.
Okay,
I didn't never caught
we'll try and wrap it up quickly. Islanders, we already said. Kuhlman, Grabowski.
Good for them.
Dark horse signing was Corey Conacher, 1 year, $600,000.
For
Yeah.
who?
Islanders.
Wow, that's it.
He's
You
kind
know,
of fallen pretty hard,
Look at him, though.
He's gotten to 4 teams in a year.
He was in
So
the talks for,
good.
like, Calder.
Yeah.
And then it just...
I think that trade killed him because he's done nothing since.
Yeah.
What was in that trade? Just... I forget that trade.
That was Bishop.
Bishop.
That was Bishop.
Yeah.
Montreal. Sorry,
Tampa Bay.
Evgeny Nabokov, so there's their backup.
Yep.
Question.
Brian Boyle, another
Yeah.
guy the Jets should have gone after.
Big boy, I hate
3
him.
year, $2 million a
They
year.
hate him because he does his job right.
And they signed Anton
Against
Strawman,
Leafs
so
all
they
the
signed
time.
the ex-Rangers.
Anton Strawman, love it. Love that one.
5
Love
years,
that.
$4 million. That's
Yeah.
a good deal.
Okay.
Also, ex-Leaf. Well, he was the next Leaf.
Was he?
Yeah, they used to have him, and then they just gave him up.
If we're going to talk shoulda, coulda, wouldas,
I'll talk
we're gonna-
Montreal.
we're in a deep hole.
Well, no, we could just talk shoulda, coulda, wouldas about Leafs all day.
Yeah.
'cause
I'll talk Montreal because they're
'Cause
Canadian.
they had two correct.
had P.A. Parento we talked about.
Yeah.
Manny Malhotra 1 year.
Hey, face off.
Tom Gilbert, Mike Weaver, so they did nothing important.
Why? That... Well,
What,
wait till
the
we
Tom
get
Gilbert
I'll wait
one?
till we... Nope. I'll wait till we get there.
Detroit, Kyle Quincy, 2 years, 8.5, so 4.25, which is probably too much for him.
Too much for him.
Ottawa, we talked about Spezza. They re-signed Milan Mahalik.
Why would he even resign there?
Who?
Who's-
Malott?
Yeah, I
Who's
thought they were
there?
saying he was gone for sure.
I thought he might come here.
Why wouldn't he test the
I hope
market?
not.
He's
I don't
already
really
I'd rather have Healy.
Yeah, I'd rather have Healy too. Let's do this. Let's just
Since
all go
since we
all
have
in.
like 2 minutes left, I think
No, we
I
have
figured-
plenty
we
of
got
time.
time.
We got time. New Jersey with Mike Camilleri, the Octopus Man.
I just
'Cause-
want to say, New Jersey, 5 years, five year, 25 mil, five a year. New Jersey, stop signing guys for stupid contracts.
It's okay. They're gonna get David Clarkson for a Travis Zajac trade. There you
Okay.
go. David Clarkson.
They're not
Travis Zajac.
that dumb.
No, they're dumb.
They're not that
And
dumb.
they signed Scott Clemenson.
Boston did nothing.
Absolutely
That's
nothing.
Not surprising.
Well,
No,
they-
they have a great team already.
Iggy walked.
They just
so
lost Iggy.
Let's
They
talk
have to
about the
sign
Leafs.
Smith and
Let's talk
Krug.
about the Leafs for
No,
Greg.
please, let's do it.
Let's talk about the one important signing because Cam was all
Ah,
over it.
you're joking me, Leo. Come on, Leo. Why didn't you come here? What is that Leo Komarov deal?
4 years,
4 years,
11.8 million.
Every insider, literally, Pierre Maguire was even like, great signing,
That
great
is such a
signing.
good signing.
Be-
He pisses
Am I the-
everyone
am I
off
the
around
only
him.
and
guy
he
that-
doesn't take penalties. He gets
doesn't.
penalties.
Am I the only person who said it's not going to make them any better?
It does, though. He will make them better. He puts them on the power play, and if they can get a power play that works, boom.
He
they're
puts
one of
them on
best
the
teams
power
in
play, and their power play is really bad.
You don't.
Doesn't matter.
You don't crap talk filthy. You don't put that onus on him.
I'm just saying he's
And-
paid.
and they got- hey.
It's probably a good signing, but I don't think it's like the best signing. I think it's an average signing.
They're trying
Guys.
to recreate the magic that is the lockout season.
Yeah, Matt Fratton coming back. My boy, Matt
You know
Fratton.
what?
I was this close to purchasing a Matt Fratton jersey online because
So
I
are you
love
gonna
him.
get one?
He is the golden boy.
Or you get
Yes,
really?
I'm getting a Matt
What
Fratton
about a
jersey.
Komarov? You want to get a Komarov?
I would love to get a Komarov jersey,
Now-
except money does not grow on trees, and I am a poor student.
Yeah, of course. The Leafs
other-
Go
the-
ahead. Sorry.
The other signing was Stefan Robida. He's like 38.
3 years,
37.
9 million. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
3 million a
He's
year.
a veteran
He's a
defenseman.
Not bad.
All he's gonna do is he's gonna be like, "Okay, everyone, just so you know, Phaneuf's actually really bad. You should probably get rid of him." That's all he's gonna say because he's been around the league for a while. He knows what a bad defenseman looks like.
And I just want
I
to go
know.
back to Komarov really quick. Every player who had Twitter on the Leafs is like, "Welcome back, Leo. He's a great guy in the room."
yeah.
That's
love
why
him.
you know what? I'm totally okay with the money and the contract. Apart from my my man crush on him, I think just a great signing, anyways.
Okay,
Now,
we're gonna play a game with the Panthers.
no. I
I'm
want to
gonna-
play this game first.
I'm gonna read you.
Can we play this game first? Sorry to interrupt. Petri Contiola,
Petri
What-
Contiola. Yeah.
1 year, $1.1 million. What is his claim to fame, Cam? Do you remember?
Petri Contiola. I don't know.
Okay.
He wears a great number.
World Championships, I believe, with Finland. Was getting an interview by.
Oh yeah.
What'd you think of the game so far? I don't know. So what does your team have to do to play better? I don't know. And like the last one is, what do you think of your game so far? I don't know. And just walked away. 3 straight I don't knows and just skated off. Hilarious.
He also bought his way out of his contract.
He also bought his way out of
I
his
like that
contract.
We're gonna play the
So-
same game with Florida and Buffalo. First, we're going to
Oh,
play with
God.
Florida. Okay, no. First, we're playing with Buffalo. It's not as bad. I'm going to read you the contracts. You tell me which one's the worst and which one's the best.
Okay.
Are
Okay.
you good naming name? Okay, go.
Okay.
I'm going to name the big ones. Matt Molson, 5 years, $5 million
Good.
a year.
Good
Awesome.
signing.
Great sign.
No, I'm going to name them all.
Oh,
You name
okay.
the best and the
Okay.
worst.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Matt Molson, 5 years, $5 million a year. Brian Giunta, 3 years, 4.5 a year.
4.25.
Andre Mazzaros, 1 year, $4.125 million a year. Out of those three, which is the best, which is the worst?
Andre Mazzaros is the worst. Best is
Molson.
Molson. Gianna's a close second worst.
Best.
But this is definitely a cap floor move because they are
Yeah.
close to that cap.
Best Molson, worst Giunta. Why do I say worst Giunta instead of Mazzaros? Mazzaros, he's a defenseman who can teach their younger guys. I'm
guess so.
totally fine with that money, and they're going to have to overpay like us in Edmonton.
I will agree Molson was the best. I think the other two were both pretty bad.
Yeah.
Those Giunta and Mazzaros are both not worth
Now
that
are
money.
we going to play the game with
Now,
Florida?
let's play the
now
game
we're going to
Florida.
play the Florida game. This one's going to be really fun. So I'm going to read them all, and then you tell me which one's the best. And no, just give me your thoughts, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, Bolin, 5 years, $5.5 million a year for a guy that puts up about 30 points.
Ah, yeah,
Hey,
buddy.
that's Ryan Callahan, guys.
Just to compare, highest paid Jet is Blake Wheeler, 70 points. Highest paid Panthers, Dave Boland.
Forward. We're going forward.
Yeah,
here.
forward.
Yeah.
Dave Boland, they're making the same amount of money.
Oh, I know. No, I know. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait. Wheeler makes 5.75?
No, Wheeler makes 5.5.
5.6, and Boland makes 5.5.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, in Florida,
Yeah.
first team in like 12 years or something like that, where they didn't have a guy over 40 points. Their highest point guy, he had 38 points. I just
But
can't remember who it was.
Is this a cap 4 move, or is this a stupid GM move? Because Wheeler, 70-point player, probably deserves more than what he gets. Boland deserves less.
Rash decisions to try to make your team and try to get butts in the seat.
They had a quick draw McGraw at free agent frenzy, and they let the money. They let the dazzle get.
He
them.
makes more than Evander Kane, Andrew Ladd, Brian Little, and Dustin Buffalo.
Let that sink in for a little bit, guys.
He makes more than all those guys.
But he also has 2 Stanley Cup rings. Or, yeah, two Stanley Cup rings.
Okay, next contract in Florida.
UC Okinen, 4 years, $16 million, so $4 million a year. Not the worst,
I'm okay
not
with
the
that.
best.
Yeah.
Better than Boland.
Okay, can I go?
Yeah.
Can I do the last 3?
I want to do the Sean Thornton.
Oh, okay. You
Go
can do
ahead.
Sean
What's
Thornton.
2 years, 4.4.
2.2 per?
Yeah.
Great deal. Why? If he wears 22, oh man, those jerseys aren't that bad. I might consider one. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
because he
lie.
won't play.
For the money, though, come on.
So,
Cap floor, hey, whatever.
next one is Willie Mitchell, 2 years, $8.5 million, so $4.25 a year. That's
Whoa.
a
That's a
a
little
steep
much.
deal.
Hey,
That
hey.
is a steep deal for a guy that's past his prime.
They're reuniting the greatest tandem there ever was in 2010.
What?
Willie Mitchell, Roberto Luongo. Oh, and they got Montoya. What did they get Monty for?
1.1,
1.1
which
a
was
year.
their best deal
Yep.
by far.
Yep.
Monty
And
for
Roberto
1.1
tweeted
year.
about it. He's like, that was a stipulation in my deal. The only time they're bringing it back is if he has sick flow, and like something like that. And then had a
They
picture
could
of
they could
Monty.
have a flow off, the two of them, because they
it's
both
like-
have really
well,
like
don't look
they're
on
both
top of the head,
Italian,
just
though,
at the
right?
back, right? 'Cause-
They're both Italian.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Just
All right.
both of them are just going to eat a lot of
Okay.
pasta. The Willie Mitchell deal, 4.25.
So-
Guys, past his prime.
He's still really good, though, for his
He's
age.
not that great.
He
is
was
a
a big
Stefan
part of.
Robida, like-
He was a big part of the Kings winning the cup.
We're
this year.
also forgetting
That's why he's expendable.
but
How is a guy that's that important to a team that easily expendable?
His age and how many young defensemen the Kings have.
That's exactly it. And
Okay.
Florida,
All right, no.
we forgot who they drafted number 1 overall. Willie Mitchell. That is not a bad mentor to have.
It's not
Aaron
bad.
Ekblad? I'd be okay
All
with
of the
that.
players that Florida
Okay.
signed, I have nothing. I would take any of those players on my team. Just the money.
yeah,
yeah,
it is the,
The
money.
money. Like, come on.
What's
Well,
he
I
cap-
don't know
was
who
cap
Derek
bottom.
McKenzie is. Is he like Bob McKenzie's son?
He is a
No, he's not.
career thrasher / Blue Jackets. So that
Okay.
tells you all.
That
about
tells
that.
you a lot. Has never played a playoff.
Now,
game,
I just want to talk about Buffalo for like
can
2
we talk?
seconds.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Greg. Josh Georges made the biggest deal out of getting traded to Toronto. He's like, no, I could never do that to Montreal. And then he goes to Buffalo? What? Why? If you had a choice between Toronto and Buffalo, where would you go, Dan, right now? Coming from the Habs.
Well, but I mean, he played for Montreal for how long?
Yeah,
here's my reasoning why.
That. He probably hates the
It
Leafs.
shows his character.
Yeah.
Is what it
Here's
shows.
what I think it is. Josh George has played in one of the most media frantic places. Why would he go to even more media frantic place in Toronto? He's probably just sick of that.
Yeah.
To be honest, he's probably sick of being put on a microscope. Every time he was on the ice and there was a goal scored, it was probably blamed on him by the media.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't want to play under that. And in Buffalo, let's be honest here, their teams suck. So why would anyone put them underneath the microscope?
Sucks, but they're rebuilding. Toronto's kind of in the Jets stage where they aren't rebuilding, but they aren't in the playoffs. They're kind of in the middle. They're like
Leafs will be in the playoffs next year.
Ooh.
That's the guarantee. That is the Mark Messier guarantee. Put it in the paper.
Of the week, Leafs will make the playoffs.
You know what?
Leafs will make the playoffs.
Even if they wouldn't have made those signings, I would say Leafs will make playoffs next year.
I think that Leo
If it
Komarov
wasn't for
deal
that
is going to
slide,
be so good.
Sorry for interrupting you there.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that slide that they had, they would have been in
They
the
have
playoffs.
that slide every year. It's called the Toronto Maple Leafs collapse.
You know what?
Injuries that was just bad timed injuries.
If you look,
and a coach getting very negative on his team. And the other reason why they had the slide, in realistic terms, they were getting outshot 40-27 every game and winning somehow.
They made the playoffs once since the last lockout. They made the playoffs in the shortened season, and everyone's like, "Hey, they made the playoffs. It's great. They didn't collapse this year." Well, it's just because they didn't have time for the collapse to happen. Happened. It happened in the last 2 minutes of the game 7.
We were all together.
Let's not go back to that. It was a really dark time in my life.
If we're talking about collapses, though, Jets are since
Just
Jets
as
2.0 since it came
thing.
in, just as terrible in March. We have terrible March.
It's not Jets 2.0. It's Thrashers. Every year the Thrashers for the first 5 months were in playoff contention, close to top of their division, and then they just for whatever reason.
Do you guys remember year one? We were leading the Southeastern Division, and then it was mid-March, and we just tanked. It just lost probably 6 of 8, and just fell right out of the playoff spot.
Even this year, when Maurice came in, what was our record? Like 15-2 or something.
Oh, something ridiculous.
And we were in the playoffs, and then after the Olympic break, they just
And
it was
one
weird,
of the other years. I think it was the lockout shortened season. We played Washington back to back at home. And we were probably 4 points out of the playoffs at that point.
I think we were ahead of them.
Oh, we were ahead of them.
We were ahead of them.
After that happened, boom, the entire year just exploded, and we're like, oh well, we're not trying anymore. Yeah. Like, just team blew up in March, and maybe it's just a thing that happens. And
I think it's mental, and I think Maurice is gonna drill them this year hard.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, just drill them hard.
Yeah.
Every
ceiling,
just ceiling.
Yeah.
But when I'm
breaking the fourth wall here, I'm doing an upward fisting motion.
Ceiling.
But what
22 Drum Street.
What I'm excited for the Jets is it seems like they're going to keep Kane and let him have a full year with Maurice and let Maurice with the full training camp and whatnot see what he can do with the team. I guess to wrap it up, unless you guys have anything else to say.
I don't.
Do you guys say until 1 week from now or the next episode? Do you guys? What would you like the Jets to do or possibly try and do?
Heater. That's it.
Is that it? Heater.
Oh, you want Heatley? Do you want Heatley?
I don't want him on the team, but I want him on the team.
Okay, can we do a consensus Heatley that we all want him?
Yes.
Could we get our? You know what we should do if they get him? Our podcast, picture should just be the three of us wearing shirts that say #1507
I don't necessarily want him for his talent. I want him for just all the reaction that's going to happen if he comes here.
That'll be unreal. You know what? He could be successful. Why not?
Why not take the gamble?
Oh,
does he want to come here too?
Yeah. Well, maybe he played in Minnesota last year. Our climates aren't that different.
Yeah. But he got traded there. That's different. He didn't get the pick.
I guess so, but he didn't.
I went to school with Greg and I went to school with someone whose dad is Danny Heatley's godfather.
Let's do it.
Lives in Winnipeg.
Call him up. Just be like, you pull that trigger. You tell him.
He has ties here, so I mean.
Actually, one more point I want to make. A goalie that's available.
I was going to say my number one pick, what I'd like to see the Jets do in a week.
Okay.
Get a backup goalie. Not just Hutch.
That's fair.
Hutch, first call up, obviously.
You know who... I think could be that, and people are going to hate me for it.
Mm-hmm.
Anders Lindback.
He's already signed.
By who?
It's in the...
What?
It's in
No.
Read the notes.
Oh, what? Who signed him?
I forget.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh.
Definitely.
No, I'm going through it. I don't know who signed him.
Yeah, I know someone signed him.
No.
Yes, no, seriously, go to Twitter then and just do a quick check. I know Anders Lindback. Yeah, go just do an internet search. Lindback is signed.
Are you sure?
I'm certain.
What are we? So
I don't think he signed.
No, someone I
what's
know.
on the
someone
line
signed.
for whoever's wrong?
I just friendly bet. I'm almost certain someone signed.
I
him.
don't think he signed. I can
Stars.
Yeah, backup goalie to Stars for Kari Lettinen. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the Central Division, Anders.
He can't
Okay.
be on the Jets.
Again.
He can't be on the Jets because he's going to rip us a new one 2 to 3 times a year.
Oh, that's right.
All right, because
So-
they only play. I liked how for year one everyone's like, "Oh, play our backup," and then we'd score and win, and they'd be like, the second time they come back, we'd have like their starter, and then we'd just get the.
You know why?
Shut
It's
down.
because for scheduling they all played Minnesota the night before.
Yeah.
And played because Minnesota's better than us, so they're going to play their good goalie against them.
Yeah, and if we're talking schedule, we have
Other-
one of the easiest contracts this year, so that'll be
One of the easiest schedules.
schedules. Yep.
Yeah, contracts. I don't know where that came from.
I don't know what you're
What about
Chris Harper.
another potential backup? Like, these are only the names that are coming off the top of my head because I have no clue who's out there.
Yep.
Well, I guess that means Raycroft's out there, but we're not going to touch Raycroft.
What?
Boy.
He's still playing. Oh, we forgot something.
Oh.
Alex Kovalev retired.
Oh, okay.
Who knew
Yeah.
he was still playing? Who knew? I didn't. Anyway, he was stuck in Florida.
It's like Peter Nedved playing.
He retired too.
Yeah. Who knew Peter Nedved was still
Where
playing?
was he?
Somewhere.
Somewhere deep in the depth.
Marty?
It's like William.
Backup
or-
goalie Marty?
Marty who?
No, he won't come here.
Brodeur?
He wants to be a starter. He wants starter money.
I would be okay with that.
Hey,
$4 million.
Chevy,
Better than-
a.k.a. Kevy C, already said, Pav is our guy.
Yeah.
Which it basically means, if you read through the context of what ever since that moment he said Pavs is our guy, and then what he hasn't done or pulled the trigger and got all these guys, it really means Connor McDavid 2015 Winnipeg Jets.
Connor McDavid hashtag 2015.
Yeah, of course.
What it means-
Hashtag 2015.
Hashtag.
What it means, if you read through the lines, is I effed up, but I'm not going to admit it.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
It's your fault, not mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did this.
You guys have to watch the games, not me.
So, just on the notion of backup, so J.S. Giguère's out there.
Jiggy, that'd be
Tim
alright.
Thomas.
Is he?
He's out there.
Yeah, Timmy
I
Thomas.
don't know.
I don't think he'd want to come here.
He doesn't have to go to the White House here. I'm just saying.
What about...
He is good at pumping tires with that all that.
here's the
climate
one
change
thing I'm wondering about. Minnesota has 4 goalies.
Dude,
Harding, Backstrom, Brizgalov, and that other kid, Kemper.
Kemper. Are they going to resign Briz?
Harding
Probably not.
is though he's got health issues.
Yeah, MS.
MS, so he's dosed.
Not forever. Like not
Well,
like
but-
Wait,
in a
Briz
few
is signed for
years.
another year.
I'm
Or is he a
sure
free
Briz
agent?
is there. If Briz is a free agent,
He
bring
won't
him
come
to-
here.
We don't have any
Universe.
parks.
Yeah.
We have no parks. Don't worry.
Apparently.
But when one of those goalies be available, or Peter Budaj? Like,
Well,
I'm just trying to
Budaj?
think of
Budaj
goalies
would
here.
be. That'd be a decent
I'd be
backup.
okay with Budaj.
Dustin Tokarski.
No,
They're not,
Not-
going to get rid of him?
I wouldn't mind getting David Abish. Just kidding.
Still plays?
I have no clue. Cujo, let's do it.
If we're making jokes like that, let's
Get Bob Senza.
let's
Yeah,
bring
I
in a
agree.
guy. No, let's bring back a guy who's already played in the MTS Center, Drew McIntyre. Then
He signed.
We're not going to
He
play that
signed
game.
with the
Let's just
Hurricanes.
get Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
So Leafs have to have James Reimer, or they have no goalie.
And Cam Ward is not being traded this year.
Because
Okay.
no one wants that contract.
So then that means Carolina
No, because
has
they wanted too
Justin
much for him.
Peters, Cam Ward, and Drew McIntyre. Then
So you think we should offer a trade for these guys?
3rd round pick right now
And they also
for Drew McIntyre.
they also have Anton Khudobin who played
Oh,
most of
yeah.
their games last year.
That's true. Yeah, he could come here. Why not?
Backup.
I'd be okay with that. But I also think Nicholas Backstrom could also come.
And
here.
you don't.
But he's expensive. That's
maybe
the problem.
Reimer comes here. Who knows?
Yeah.
I know
I'm
they
thinking-
went. I know
honestly,
they went arbitration.
I think
but
the Leafs are just want way too much for him. Like the most, I personally, if I was a GM, 2nd rounder, at most. and I'm pretty sure Leafs want a prospect
worth a
and a
second
role
round,
player.
though.
I'd give him a.
That'd be the
roster
most I'd
player.
pay for him.
I'd give him a roster player, not a good one, but
Well, what's
Scott Kuzmichuk, here you go.
Tangrady.
No, that's
Eric
well,
Tangradi,
maybe.
yeah. No,
Oh yeah,
there you go.
That
Jim,
is sweet.
That's our guy.
Jim Slater. Carlisle loves those guys.
Yeah.
Do we
Yeah.
want to give up that face-up percentage on the fourth line?
Although.
Eric O'Dell.
All right, did he sign?
Oh no! Well, it was like qualifying offer.
it?
Right?
Okay, all
qualifying.
right, we're waiting.
So would Eric? Oh, maybe they'll just bring Eric O'Dell in and he'll play with Scheifele and Wheeler. I'm okay with that.
he did.
He
was
can't
pretty
play with
fast.
Scheifele. Scheifele's center.
Didn't he score his first goal, his first NHL goal, assisted from Buff on St. Patrick's Day?
Who?
Probably.
Odell. I know he scored on St. Patrick's Day. I don't
No,
know if
I
it was
think
the
his
first
first
one.
goal was the game we got beat like 7-1 by Columbus or something.
Oh, okay.
Getting beat by Columbus 7-1.
It's a dark day.
Was that the? Yeah, I was at that game. I
Oh
remember.
god.
That was
Dark
a great
day.
game.
I can't
All
wait
right.
to watch more games.
Well, any you want to say
Nope.
anything there, Greg? Wrap it up here.
Just thanks again for the support last week. That was awesome. Hope that we can continue doing this and can continue to entertain you guys because it's a lot of fun for us to come here the last 2 weeks and do this. We want to continue this for sure.
That's pretty awesome.
That was a post-game presser right there.
Yeah.
And
Well, we gave it 110% today, guys.
Yeah, we
I
did
don't know.
give it 100.
We
I don't know.
went
I don't know.
hard in the corners. We did all the right things right, and yeah, we did it the right way.
If we're kicking
there's a lot of intestinal fortitude in this podcast.
Oh, and lots of truculence. Yeah. That's it. We're leaving. Have a good week, everybody.
Remember to follow us on Last Man in PC on Twitter, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Thanks, guys.